Hey, welcome back to my podcast. I got multiple hats I wear these days. Defiant Spirit, my work around the Dr. Viktor Frankl, the Enneagram. So there's Defiant Spirit, and there's Man Uprising, which is my other passion, and that is a community of men rising up in the second half of life where we offer peer groups. I offer Man Uprising coaching for Defiant Spirit counseling, and I want to just jump in. I don't know which this is a podcast for both of them. So I want to talk about the world we're living in right now is a contentious world. Maybe it's always been contentious. It probably has been, but I don't really care about always. I care about now. And now I feel schizophrenic. This week is the first full week after the elections, and I've coached 20 people so far. I would say 10 of them are in mourning and 10 of them are in celebration mode. It is so polarized. I can't tell you the grief that's coming out of one camp, and I can't tell you the gloat that's coming out of another camp. It's unbelievable to me. But it really isn't unbelievable. It's believable because you all have been witness to it. I was just watching a podcast and they were showing clips. I would never watch this show, The View. I don't care who you vote for. That is an empty vessel. The things they were saying on this, I was beside myself. They were talking about Thanksgiving. As I'm recording this, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. And that one of the hosts, not all of them, some of them were fighting against this, were condoning not going to your family's house for Thanksgiving if you don't like the way they voted. If you just couldn't stomach the way they voted, and probably goes both directions, then you have every right not to participate in family events, to not associate, to not talk to. Garbage. That is horrible. In a time where we are more alienated and lonely, more mental crises than ever before in human history, and we're going to tell people to cut themselves off some more, cut themselves off over politics. Don't give me this, but it's the righteous thing or it's the moral thing. It's never moral to cut somebody off because of their differing views, their political views, their different value systems. I grew up in Nebraska as a Jew. A lot of my friends were evangelical. I'm still friends with them. I don't care what you believe. We can agree to disagree. I'm right, you're wrong. Move on, right? And they said the same thing back to me. And we can love each other. I especially love you when we can hold these opposite values or views and still be in relationships. So telling people to cut themselves off from their family over politics, no, not acceptable. Garbage. We need now more than ever to go into those spaces and places and dialogue. No, don't get into Trump and Harris crap at the Thanksgiving table. You can talk about core issues and if abortion is a value-based conversation, which it is to both sides, then talk about the values, but talk, communicate, right? Don't just use words as weapons, and that's the problem. Words have lost their meaning. The Hebrew word for word there are many words. One word is teva, and teva is the same word that's used in the story of Noah. Remember the story of Noah in the Bible? Destruction is going to be brought upon humanity. God says there's no reason. They've lost their way. It's beyond repair. And the rabbinic tradition says it came down to rape. That rape was now part and parcel of the land. It was acceptable. And what is rape on many levels? It is the degradation of communication. Think about it. The greatest pathway to intimacy of sexual human connection between two loving partners creating life in this world, you can take it and do the inverse, and that is degrade somebody's humanity through rape. I've been following everything post October 7th in Israel just nonstop. I'm both American and Israeli, and watching the horrors, especially when they started to unfold. What was worse than the murders to bear witness to from my perspective was the rape. Bearing witness to rape. There's something so degrading. I don't mean to be too graphic, but there's stories of Hamasniks raping dead women because you've taken this ability to connect and turned it on its head. It's the exact opposite of what it could be. So what is God destroying in this story? Nothing. People have destroyed. There's nothing left if we don't have the ability to connect, to communicate. That doesn't even mean speaking the same language. You can be with somebody who speaks French or German, not be able to say a word, but truly communicate. So it's not about the actual words. It's about the vehicle of communication to be something that connects us. And so God says, build a teva, an ark. That's the word. It's the same word as the word. And so what is the redemptive process in that story? It's not Noah. He's a schmuck. Like what he does is terrible. But he restores the connection between destruction and creation. So he played his part. Ultimately, Noah's a mixed bag. He wasn't good. He wasn't bad. He was just sort of compliant. But whatever, the bottom line is the ark represents communication. And communication slowly begins to be restored during that time and after that time. And so the ark is about taking our words back, our communication back, thinking about all of the people I counsel who sit in these chairs behind me. I'm doing a lot of man uprising coaching grown men, midlife, 50 years old. And they'll end up in tears, and it is never because of that stupid saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Sticks and stones break bones. No guy is sitting back here talking about, crying about the broken ankle he had back in grade school. But he is crying about the nasty names kids were calling him on the playground, right? You fill in the blank, and those are wounds. Or the guy who told me that his dad said, I fucking regret the day we had you. And the man is a half century later, and he is wounded beyond belief. Not because of sticks and stones, because words not only hurt you, they destroy. We can use words to destroy one another. It's also not just the words of commission, the words that we say. Sometimes it's oftentimes it's the words of omission. My dad grew up in a house, not of words of commission that were destructive, but the omission, the left out words, the silence. Stories about him eating in silence, and it wasn't the kind that I relish when I get to eat in silence once in a while, where I just get to be mindful. It was the withholding of connection, of communication, of affection, right? Weaponizing this thing. Silence is no longer constructive, it's destructive. Words are no longer creating, they're minimizing, they're diminishing, which is why the Aramaic word for, you didn't know you know Aramaic. You know Aramaic, 2,000-year-old language of the Jewish people in the land of Babylonia, part Hebrew, part Babylonian, abracadabra. Abracadabra is an Aramaic word. It's not just hocus pocus when you wave your magic wand over the hat and pull a bunny rabbit out. Abracadabra. Avra means I will create. Kadabra, as I speak. Speaking is a creative capacity. It is the greatest capacity. It is our gift as human beings, the ability to communicate. Even if you can't use your words, communication happens in so many profound ways, and that is a uniquely human quality. I know I'm going to get hate mail from all the dog lovers who say their animals communicate. I don't disagree, but conscious communication, choosing the right word, the right expression at the right time, can destroy another human being. Dogs can't destroy each other, and create another human being. Can't do that either, right? To comfort a child after their parent is lost, or whatever, fill in the blank, with that right words or constructive silence. And using that silence as a way to connect. But alternatively, you can use it as a way to destroy. So as you go into this Thanksgiving holiday, or whenever you're watching this, let's bring back some intentionality, some commitment, conscious commitment to choosing our words diligently, intentionally, carefully, lovingly, to erring on the side of too many loving words, to err on the side of not enough destructive words, to using silence as a way to soften and to open, to not using silence as a way to alienate, not using silence as a way to push away people who don't vote like you, who don't believe like you, who don't act like you or look like you. The only way forward is to take back our power to truly communicate. When both sides start to communicate, when races communicate, when nations communicate, when human beings communicate, when marital counseling, when I'm doing it, and husband and wife start communicating, the ark has set sail. possibility is on the horizon. Maybe it won't work out. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's carrying too much dead weight of dead words, destructive words, or maybe we start throwing those words over the side of the boat. Maybe we start consciously lightening the load, and this vessel, this vehicle, this ark still has time to sail to the promised land. So going into this holiday season or any season with the commitment to repair what has been undone, what has been broken, what has been taken away from us as human beings in a world where we've never had more opportunity to speak, we've never actually had less communication going on. Social media is not communication, and mean texts and tweets, or even loving texts or tweets, is not real communication, but reconnecting from face to face and sharing those words to reverse the sticks and stones break the bones thing. Words can hurt me, but words can also create. They can build me up. Using those words as an act of creation, abracadabra, I will create as I speak. Take this with you and rise up, as I say, in the second half of life.